article in The Guardian recently covered a study that was done by the University of Cambridge, which details the relationship between those with extremist views and their ability to perform complex mental tasks. Now, the study, built on previous research, included more than 330 US-based participants, ages 22 to 63, who were exposed to a battery of tests, 37 neuropsychological tasks, and 22 personality surveys over the course of 2 weeks. So that's some of the methodology in this study. There were some specific tasks that I'll detail now. The tasks were engineered to be neutral, meaning that this wasn't emotional or political. For instance, they involved memorizing visual shapes. The researchers then used computational modeling to extract information from that data about the participants' perception and learning and their ability to engage in complex and strategic mental processing. Now, according to the way this was written about in the Guardian piece, people with extremist views think of the world in black and white, and they struggled with these complex tasks that were given to them during this testing, right? The article itself, as you can see here, uses people with extremist views, making you think that, there wasn't really a distinction between which extremists we're talking about here. But then if you actually read the study, it says that conservatism and nationalism were related to greater caution in the perceptual decision-making tasks and to reduce strategic information processing, while dogmatism was associated with slower evidence accumulation and impulsive tendencies. Extreme pro-group attitudes, including violence endorsement against outgroups, were linked to poorer working memory, slower perceptual strategies, and tendencies toward impulsivity and sensation seeking, reflecting overlaps with the psychological profiles of conservatism and dogmatism. So my guess, obviously I'm speculating here, is that the Guardian didn't want to upset conservative readers if they have conservative readers. But when you read the details of this study, there was a pretty clear distinction regarding right-wing extremism and how those extremists tended to have a difficult time completing these mental tasks.
So look, I beat up on conservatives all the time. I've got hundreds of pages in my upcoming book, Justice is Coming, talking about how they're not that bright. They're prone to violence, etc. But now the science is starting to be overwhelming to the point where I'm starting to feel bad. No, there's something wrong with them. And so that you could put it in scientific terms. And in this case, for example, reduced strategic information processing. You know what that means? Not that bright, okay? That's what it means. That's fancy words for they just can't think rationally. That's reduced strategic information processing. Okay, they can't process information in a way that is strategic. They have problems with risk perception. You know what that means? That means they're afraid. Now, what did I tell you? We talk about it all the time because every study confirms it. Among the top 2 emotions that conservatives have is fear. So that's why they're fearful of the others. Oh my God, the immigrants are gonna come in, cross the border. Oh, I'm so scared. Black people are gonna come to the suburbs. I'm so scared. Trans people are gonna go into bathrooms. I'm so scared. Oh, we're gonna attack the foreigners. I'm so scared. Scared, because they have problems with the risk perception. It's in their heads. And I'm beginning to think it's a literal disability. That's why the progressive in me is kicking in. I don't know how we help them, but they're not processing right. And then when it comes to impulsivity, that's what leads to the violence. Since they have trouble processing, they get super frustrated and they're fearful. So what do? They strike out. So the conservative mind is a scary place to be. And by the way, this is not about America, guys. And the same exact characteristics are true of the right wing in the other country that I lived in, Turkey. The right wing acts in the same exact way. And by the way, they also then, since they can't process information, they give up their decision making to an authoritarian figure. And the science backs up, they're more prone to authoritarianism. Because I don't know what I'm doing, I guess your leader must know. And what do we see with Trump? What do you see with Erdogan? What do you see with Putin? What do you see with Netanyahu? What do you see with Bolsonaro? The right wing always gives up their own volition because they're so afraid. That's who they are.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.